Hi everyone, today I'd like to show you one of the ways that I use my 20th Anniversary Macintosh and Apple Newton daily in 2023. One of the great things about using these vintage devices is they're as distraction-free as you want them to be. Today we're going to be looking at four things. 1. The 20th Anniversary Macintosh. 2. The Apple Newton MessagePad 2000. 3. Claris Organizer. And 4. The Newton Connection Utilities. These all tie together to help me keep my day organized, especially at the to-do list. If I were to use my phone for a to-do list, every time I go to check something off that I've completed, I end up in the mindless scroll log, which kills at least 30 minutes of my day. Okay, so let's dig into what we've got today. First, we need to get the Newton physically connected to the Mac. Now, this is a MessagePad 2000. It's not in the best shape, as you can tell. But, to be fair, I've used it every week for the last 3 years that I've owned it. I don't go a weekday without using it. Now, to connect it to the Mac, we can use the serial connection, and I've got mine personally plugged into the modem port, but it'd work on the printer port just as well. And being that it's a MessagePad 2000, it requires this dongle, just like Apple, always with their dongles. But it's got just a DEN connection on one side and then the proprietary Newton connection on the other. So we'll just plug this in, and then it connects right into the top. When you plug it in, it turns the Newton on automatically. Let's see how well you can see that. We'll get the stylus ready. Now, I do prefer the form factor of the Newton 130, just because I find it to be more comfortable, but I didn't get one of those to use because I eventually want to get a wireless card for the 2000 and see what I can do with that. It sounds like a fun project. Okay, now that we've got it plugged in, let's get the software opened up. We're going to start with the Newton Connection Utilities. That's going to open up a window with a bunch of different options, and some of them are pretty cool, but let's get it connected. So on the Newton, we're going to go to our Extras drawer, and then the dock, and we're just going to hit Connect. And that brings up a list of similar options. A few missing on the Newton, but they're not that important. And just to show you some of the things that we've got here, we've got the Synchronize, which we're going to use quite a bit, and Install Package, which allows you to install the third-party software on the Newton. And this one's pretty cool, the Newton keyboard. You can click that, and whatever you type on the Mac keyboard should type on the Newton, and it does. So clear that out. We'll hit stop on that. A couple of the things you'll probably use if you decide to use it Newton full-time is the backup option. It completely backs up the Newton and stores it on the drive of the Mac. And obviously restore will restore your Newton if anything happens to it, like the batteries run dead on it. Now, if you do decide to use a Newton full-time or just to play around with and you want to download software on it, one thing to remember is that when you download it from the internet, it strips out the owner or the creator information, and the Newton Connection Utilities don't know what to do with it. So like I've downloaded this package here, and if we go to install package and click on the desktop, it just doesn't show up. So if we cancel out of that, there's a program, several programs actually, it just depends on which one works for you. But the one that worked for me was Newton Package Converter. So what we'll do is just drag our package onto the package converter, and then as you can see it changes the icon, and that will allow software to be installed. So if we go back to Newton Connection Utilities and click Install Package, now this is on here. We'll go ahead and click Open. And hopefully for some of you guys that haven't seen this in a long time, it might be a treat. It will take a minute for it to copy over, and it's not a very big file. Okay, that's just about finished up. And we're done. So I'm going to close out of the connection utilities on the Newton, maybe. And disconnect for a minute just so you guys can see this. Backlight back on. It's really hard to see these screens. And now we've got the dancing baby from the early 2000s on here. There we go. We'll close that out. It was just something fun. Plug this back in. One more thing I want to mention, if you guys decide you want to do this yourself and you have any trouble with it, the Newtons, for whatever reason, don't see dates past the year 2010 at all. It just goes back to, I think, 1989 if you try to input anything after 2010. But there's a patch for it that I'll link to in the description that'll fix it right up. Okay, let's take a look at what really makes this project work for 2023. It's called Claris Organizer. So let's get it opened up. Now, in my situation, there was an extension that the 20th Anniversary Mac didn't like called Instant Organizer. I'm not sure what it does exactly, but I was able to turn it off, and Claris Organizer has been working flawlessly for years. So there we have it. Now, it opens up initially to your daily tab in your calendar. But you can select, weekly or your monthly. Just depends on what you prefer. Now, when you close out of Organizer, it will remember the tab that you were on for the next time it starts up. So that's pretty handy. So I usually prefer the weekly tab, because not only does it have your calendar up here, but it also has to-do items down at the bottom. And that's my favorite spot. Now I've got mine set up as just a clean install and my personal stuff backed up for both the Organizer and Newton, so that we can just kind of do a demo. I'm sure you guys don't want to see my day-to-day stuff, but let's show you trying to put in an appointment. So I'll just select noon and double click the line, which that gives you your appointment and date, time, and you can set an alarm if you need to. You've also got different categories you can file it in, which will color code them on the calendar, and you can edit those categories as well. And you can do multiple categories on each appointment. So we'll go ahead and hit OK and add this in. And there it is. Now let's also add a to-do item, a task, it says. So we'll just do everything default and leave it uncompleted and And we're not going to repeat the task. We're just going to hit OK. And there's the task there. So now we've got it on the computer. We want to get it on the Newton. So we just go back up here to the Newton connection utilities. And we also want to bring up the dock like before. We'll hit connect. And this time I'm going to use the Newton itself just to use the synchronize button, which is right here. And it's going to start the synchronize process. And it definitely takes a minute, especially if it's the first time that you've done it, or if you have a lot in your calendar. And there's lots of options as far as the synchronization, like whether you want the Newton to take priority as far as information, or the desktop to take priority, or you can have them just merge the information. So it's just however you want to set it up. Maybe we'll close out of the connection utilities now. Now, let's see, hopefully you can see this. If we go to dates, there's the new appointment right there. And we can also go to show. A to-do list. Did I get that? To-do list. And there's the new task. And it can be checked off. Like so. And now, if we plug it back in. And go back to dock. Connect. So now we're connected again, and we'll we'll do another synchronize. And we'll do that from the Newton. Okay, so that's all finished up. And let's go back into Organizer. And if you can see here, the new task down here is checked off as completed. So all the information flows both ways. Anyway, it's been super helpful for me over the last few years, and I've really enjoyed using it. This is my favorite computer of all time, so just anything that I can do to keep it viable. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful, and I hope your old tech finds new life in this modern era. If you liked this, please like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.